was actually one of the better conversations I've ever had in all of the times that I've been freelancing. And I think the reason for that is because I've become so much more clear on what it is that I offer and what it is that I bring to the table.
Hey guys, this is Alicia Ivins here on behalf of Mike Shreve and the No Pants Project. And I'm here today with Deb Law, who is also a student of the No Pants Project. And she's going to tell us a little bit about her journey in freelancing and what she's done with freelancing, her successes, her wins, her triumphs, and even, some of the harder parts of freelancing, and kind of tell us a little bit about her experience with MPP. So welcome, Deb. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yay. So tell me a little bit about your superpower, the superpower that you discovered in MPP.
So I am a copywriter. I work primarily with coaches, and what I do is I help them primarily get new clients. I do that with copywriting. The types of copy that I write primarily are custom emails, whether that be autoresponders or daily emails. I write webinar scripts. I help them with Facebook ads. That's actually something new, which we'll talk about. And it's all about how I can help my clients get more my clients get more clients of their own.
That's awesome. That sounds like a pretty amazing superpower to have. So are you enjoying it so far? I mean, since you've gotten started, how are you enjoying the whole freelancing lifestyle?
I really am. And the other day I was at lunch, and at the table next to me, there was a couple of people who were on their lunch hour, and I couldn't help but overhear because all they were doing was complaining. And they were talking about how, how nobody appreciates us, nobody respects us. We're just a number. And what the part of it that was really so sad to me was when one of them goes, "Yeah, but what else can we do?" And the other one goes, "Yeah, you're right. I mean, if we go work someplace else, it's going to be just more of the same. Maybe we can win the lotto." And it's just so sad to me that there is just so much better opportunities out there. And there are ways to build a career around your life and the things that you're passionate about and the things that you want to do. And that's really where I'm heading in terms of I'm working with people that I enjoy working with. I'm working on projects that I like working on. And I'm also getting paid, what I'm worth, which is a really good thing to have. So do I like freelancing? Am I enjoying it? Absolutely, yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super great. And I understand like the frustration you have when you hear conversations like that, because that was probably a conversation that I had on my lunch hour at some point before I started freelancing myself. So right there with
I really do think all of us do. And it's hard to see where the way out is. And sometimes it's just a matter of finding a path that you'll follow that will get you where you need to be, where you want to go, and to a much better place where you can be much happy with both yourself and your family.
So speaking about places you want to go, what are some of the goals that you've set for yourself with freelancing? Like, what are some things that you want to do?
Me right now, I have couple of clients that I'm working with. I would like to add another couple more monthly clients. I enjoy the work that I'm doing. I want to continue increasing my skills. There are a couple of people who don't know much about me yet who I would like to write for. And I just keep building my career and helping more people with my skills.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. And, building a business, an MPP, we're given the framework, which is amazing, but it still takes, a good bit of time and some effort. And, you're doing beautifully with that. Like, you've done really well with pulling it all together. And it's been so fun to, I guess, also celebrate your wins in MPP when you post them in the Facebook group as well. So tell me a little bit about what was life like for Deb before MPP and before freelancing? What were you doing before then?
So I would say that I was probably like a lot of freelancers in that I had some skills. I had done copywriting for other people, but the missing piece was that I did, or the piece that I didn't have was I didn't have a consistent way to continuously get new clients. So what would happen is I would end up in the feast or famine cycle where I'd have a lot of work. I was really busy. And then all of a sudden it was like, and now I don't have anything. And that does a couple of things. It affects you emotionally, having that up and down roller coaster. It also puts, or at least in my case, it was put me in a position where I would write things for people, not because it was what I wanted to write, not because it was something that I was passionate about writing, but because that was the only opportunity that was in front of me at that time.
Yeah, that's a big thing for I think a lot of people and a lot of freelancers. You kind of get into this, like you said, like feast or famine cycle. It's very cyclical where you're just getting work. And then sometimes the work is not even something you enjoy doing. Like you either have a client that you just absolutely cannot stand, or you're doing work that you don't really like, but you need the money, right? So you just
Right.
get stuck there.
Right. And what I realized from the program is that was the problem. I was approaching people, I'm a copywriter. And by saying I'm a copywriter, not I'm a person who can help you with this problem and I have these superpowers, it was putting it was putting the client in the position where, number one, they had to decide that, yes, I need to have something written. They have to decide what it is that they need to have written. They have to decide who they want to have write that, and they need to connect all of those dots and somehow assign value to what I was about to do. And the problem is when I'm relying on them to do all of that work, to establish what it is they need, how it is I fit, what it is that I'm worth, they typically assign a value that is very, very low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like that was definitely one of the breakthroughs I had when I was going through, was just learning to assign my own value as opposed to having other people assign it for me. And that's a super amazing concept to grasp and just kind of run with. So did you know about your superpower? Like, did you already kind of have that established? You already kind of doing some freelancing before you started with MPP?
I had an idea. I think initially I had an idea I might be a copywriter. As you're aware, with the exercises, we go through exploring a lot of things. And I found that there's a lot of skills that I have from other portions of my life, other things that I've done in my life, that I can bring together and I can offer my skills much more powerfully than I could have previously by just saying that I'm just a copywriter. So I did go through an exploration process, and where I did ultimately end up was with the copywriting.
Awesome. How was your confidence going in? Like, what were your thoughts going in? Were you just super excited and ready to go, or were you kind of wavering? Like, what was your like emotional feeling as you were going into MPP?
Here's the interesting thing. If you had asked me how my confidence level was at the time, I would have told you that there was no problem with the confidence. Because I didn't even know how low my confidence actually was. And, it's kind of funny. One of the exercises in the program is about designing your ideal life. And a piece of that is, listing some of the material things that you want to get in over the next year. And it asked for 15 things. And believe it or not, and I found this with the other people in the program, at the time, I could not even come up with 15 things that I thought I wanted in my life. And I think it was really the basis for that was that my confidence was low and I didn't even know. Now, you will be happy to know I have certainly made up for lost time in terms of acquiring some things, many things on my list. I've already gotten a lot of the things. So that's actually really, really cool.
Awesome. So you have a new and revised list ready to kick butt and take names.
The list is lengthening. Yeah, but it's Good. So yes, my confidence initially was in fact very, very low. It was hard working through some of the early pieces in the program, and that's, getting in touch with who you are and what it is that you want out of life and what your passions are. But and this is one thing that makes this program very unique, because there's a lot of programs out there where they're just a blueprint.
Mhm.
And the problem is without doing the work that's done in the early couple of weeks of the No Pants project, it's not going to get done, or you're going to end up with just another job, which is what you were trying to escape to begin with. And I'm so happy that I did join the program, because actually when I joined the program, which was last July, I was on the verge of, I had to go one direction or another. I was either going to have to go back to getting a full-time job, which I've been self-employed for many, many years, or I had to find a way to make this work. And I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and our public transportation, which sometimes you have to take it to get to where you need to go, it is so scary listening to people on the train talking about all of their woes with their jobs. You're like, no, please, anything but that. Don't make me go back.
Oh,
And so
man.
what's so good about this is, yes, it is a program that has helped me get to the level where I'm at this point. I'm not thinking about going back to get a full-time job. I hope I never have to go back to get a full-time job, because it doesn't sound like it's a lot of people have much fun in that arena.
No, I know. And I think one of the other things too is just keeping up with, what's going on in the world. I think actually Mike sent an email about this recently, but um, you know, with a job or anything like that, the market fluctuates, supply and demand. So your job may not be in demand, and you can just be like, oh, you have little control. But as a freelancer, you have more control, which is really awesome, because you need work, you just go out and get more work. You adjust what your service is to kind of help with the market, which is pretty awesome. All right, so tell me a little bit about let's talk numbers. Like as you're going through No Pants, as you've been working through, and we've all been watching and just cheering your wins. What are some of the things that you've accomplished since you've gotten into No Pants? Like what are some of the things you mentioned? A couple of clients earlier. How has that worked and pulled together for you?
Okay, so currently I have 2 monthly retainer clients. The first one there's, in addition to the main No Pants project, there's some bonus material that's also used to help us get clients faster. So one of them is the 5-day challenge, which this is basically reaching out to people that you know. Now, it's in a lot of ways you're like, okay, well, why didn't you just do that before? But what it provided was a script. It was like an email template, and it's in a very effective template, because what I found was that people that I know, they're like, oh, I didn't know you did that. I could use help with this. Or I didn't know that you did that, but I know this other person who might be able to use your help. So that was really good in jump starting my career, in that I had a lot of people that I didn't expect who were willing to support my journey into freelancing. The other thing that has been really helpful is the No Pants, the Mike's Fast Client Getting Workshop, which is an outbound approach. And from that's where I got my second monthly client retainer. And then in addition to that, I've had a variety of different projects that I've worked on. I've worked on a webinar script for a new business opportunity that was really cool. I've done a couple of marketing brochures. I have worked on a website for a coach. I've done a lot of fun, really interesting projects with people I really enjoyed working with, and I could really get behind them and what their mission was and what they were trying to accomplish in their career. And I really love that I'm working with people who are doing things that I also value what they're doing.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big win when you can actually do work for a client that not only, you want to stand behind your work, but you like standing behind that client and their mission and how they're going to use your work to succeed in their business. That's it's a big, not even a financial win, but just like an emotional win.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about, as you're working through Well, there's MPP and then the 5-day challenge that's included with that. And then also you said the add-on. The add-on program, which is Mike's Fast Client Getting Workshop, and that's free for MPP members. That's a bonus add-on that you get with that. What are some of the struggles that you've had with kind of working through these programs? Tell me a little bit about how that's kind of worked for you. And then also, you mentioned getting clients through each of those. So that's amazing. But what kind of things are you kind of struggling with to implement, and how have you overcome those?
I think initially my biggest challenge was time. And because the program as laid out, the program is very easy. The program is such that anybody can do it if they go through all of the steps. Mike has put a tremendous amount of time, effort, research into developing this program. But I was already doing things. I was not making as much money as I wanted to, not making as much money as I needed to. But at the same time, I did need to continue doing that work. So really one of my biggest struggles was focusing on setting the time that I needed to do each day, take a little step. Each step that I took further toward my goal was one step further closer to where I wanted to be. So would it have been easier if I could have dropped everything that I was doing and then focus 100% of my efforts on this from the outset? Yes. Can it be done? When you are doing other things, you have other responsibilities? Absolutely, yes. And so it's been a struggle. It's been about managing my time. The best thing about this, though, is the group. The group is incredibly supportive. So whether, you're just frustrated about something or whether you have a question, people, Mike included, all of the other coaches included, are incredibly generous with their time, generous with their knowledge. And so I think sometimes people maybe avoid going through the steps because there's some uncertainty about what if I don't know how to do something, but the program's structured so that there is a built-in support system. And quite honestly, I did not expect to get as much from the support system as I actually have. It's been really good in terms of meeting new people who I enjoy, people who I've become friends with. Having you as an accountability partner, because early on we both relied on each other, to push us, so to speak. And that's something that's happened with a lot of the students in the group where, they form partnerships with other students and they help encourage each other and check in daily and help each other reach the goal. And it's really good when you have someone you can do it with, even though you're focusing on, you want to do what your superpower, my superpower is a little different, but the steps are the same.
Mm-hmm. And what I found also was really helpful too, was being able, just not only to get constant feedback and quick feedback in the group, like when I post a question or when I was working through worksheets and things like that, that was super awesome. But also to even work with other people who have a superpower in a different area, like say, I need a website designed. I know because I'm in the group all the time who has web design superpowers. So it's really awesome to be able to find those people and to know, because they're going through the same coaching program. It's awesome because a lot of us have the same values. A lot of us are very, servant heart based, and we want to help and we want to serve our clients. And so, going in that working with other people in the No Pants Project, those other students, that they have the same heart. And that's a really nice way to kind of filter out of having to go somewhere else to get little projects done as you're building your business. You've already got a structure in place to help you build your business, all the other students who are building their business at the same time. And we can kind of counter provide help with each other. It's like your copywriting skills, super helpful to me. So thank you for that, because that's been helpful even in my independent journey. So it's been really helpful. Tell me a little bit about what kind of breakthroughs you've had. Like if you were to tell somebody like, okay, this is my biggest thing coming through. Here are my 2 or 3 main points that I want you to have, regardless of where you are in life, like here's how to kind of break through where you're at. What would be your advice for somebody who's feeling stuck, maybe stuck in their job, stuck in their lifestyle, not really sure where to go from there?
I think the tools that you provide in the program. So, and like I said earlier, I went in thinking I'm a copywriter, and I had a limited view of what I thought that it is that I was going to be doing. One of the retainer clients, actually two of the retainer clients I have, I'm doing Facebook ads for them, which wouldn't be that big of a deal except for the fact that I had never done Facebook ads for anybody else before.
Mhm.
And so I had approached both of them using my superpower statement with the intention of offering copywriting services. And so we discussed it, and it was a really good conversation. It was actually one of the better conversations I've ever had in all of the times that I've been freelancing. And I think the reason for that is because I've become so much more clear on what it is that I offer and what it is that I bring to the table. Now, I had never done that before. So, and they both, it was almost the same verbiage. What they told me was, well, why can't you just do this with Facebook ads? I'm like, okay. So I reached out to one of the coaches, and they had both offered me access to high-end training programs that um, they had they'd purchased, but they hadn't had time to go to consume. They're like, I like you. I think you can do, they didn't say they like me, but they did. I think you can help me. Why don't you just go take a look at this program and see if that's something you'd be willing to do for us? I know that they had both talked to other people who had experience running Facebook ads, and I didn't. And I think a lot of it is it's learning how to project what you want to do, how you can help people, how you can serve. And the reason I think I was able to do that is because the support of the group. Also, the training that's included with the program. I had already had experience copywriting, but if a person wanted to learn copywriting with a copy and content toolkit, there's really enough to be able to do that. By going through all of the processes, there's a number of different skills that you may not have thought that you could do in the past that you would be able to profitably offer to clients if that's what you want to do. Now, don't tell my clients this. The training included with the NPP program that Mike just updated with the Facebook ads literally blows away these two other programs. And the one for one of my clients, he spent $2,400 on it. The other one, the Facebook ads training, was part of he said it was $10,000. I know his wife, so I think it might have been more than that. It was part of at least $10,000 coaching package. So the tools that you need, if there's something that you're interested in doing, if there's something that you're interested in exploring, the tools are there. The support is there. There's a group of people who really do want to see other people succeed. There's coaches, there's everything that you would need to get out of what you're experiencing with your job and get to a place where, you're making the money that you like. You are working on projects that you want to work on.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That is amazing. I did not know people paid that much for Facebook training. Oh my word. That's crazy. Well, Deb, I really appreciate you joining us today, and I think you've given everyone a ton of insights on how they can kind of break through some barriers and even use NPP to get them out of that like standard stuck job and move them toward a career that's offering more freedom of time and money like what you're doing. And I am super appreciative of you taking the time out of your day to share a little bit with us today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, well, I will say adios. And I want to tell everybody thank you again so much for checking in with us and hanging out with us, the No Pants Project. And we'll see ya in the group.